A long time ago, farming was discovered by ancient humans. This allowed them to shift from their nomadic hunter-gatherer lifestyle to farming communities due to the reliable source of food. Now, let's fast forward to the 1800s. The Industrial Revolution was when people invented machines to boost the efficiency of farming. This vastly increased the rate of food production and changed farming for many years to come. Today, a majority of the world's food is created through agriculture. More often than not, the commercial farming industry requires the genetic manipulation of crops and the use of various chemicals to boost their growth. Organic farming was created in response to these commercial methods. This would bring us back to the roots of farming without all of these chemical additives to boost the growth of crops. But if you really think about it, are these farming methods truly sustainable? Would they be able to supply enough food for our ever-growing population? Would these methods be able to resist the change in climate and be able to continue to produce food efficiently? Well, for your run-of-the-mill commercial plantation, they would be able to genetically modify their crops to have resistances to the environment, and they would be able to alter the shape of their organism to fight against the wind or other weather thrown their way. To help boost their growth, fertilizer is added to the soil to add nitrogen and phosphorus into the plant systems. To get rid of those pesky bugs, pesticide is used to kill them all off. Weeds are also bad for the plants. So you know what we do? We spray them with herbicide because they take away nutrients that all of these crops need. The problem with these chemicals is the potential of them leaking into streams and aquifers. The runoff can leak into our drinking water. It could cause us very bad health problems. Also, it could leak into lakes and rivers where various organisms live. This could cause algal blooms, which would eventually drain all the dissolved oxygen. Or it might be a toxin for anything that lives in that environment. Well, it also might come back and bite us in the butt, since biomagnification can increase the potency of this lethal toxin, since higher tropic levels would slowly gain more and more of this toxin build up over time. Organic farming is fairly similar to commercial farming, except it doesn't really use those chemical fertilizers and herbicides and all that fun stuff. It mostly relies on composting to be able to get all the extra nutrients that it needs to grow bigger. They also don't make as big of a harvest compared to commercial farming, and the crop itself is generally smaller. Organic farming is not exactly the same as sustainable farming as well. It mostly sticks close to the commercial farming other than the chemicals I said before. In the laws pertaining to organic farming, the US government hasn't really promoted sustainable growth, like through crop rotation and other preservation methods. Both types of farming mostly rely on monocultures, where the same type of crop is planted on the planted land for multiple years. This would deprive the soil of nutrients and cause soil degradation and reduce the arable land for future crops. The loss of farmable land could limit how much food we can have and could hurt the human race in the future. What we should do is combine both of these methods to make a more sustainable type of farming. What we should do is combine genetic modifications to crops to allow them to work in most environments. Then we should add natural fertilizers like composting to prevent chemical runoff, and use techniques like crop rotation and cover crops to allow soil to regain nutrients and sustain that for many years to come. On their own, the farming techniques are able to do certain things sustainably. However, if you combine certain aspects from both sides and blend them together, it can create a different way of farming that creates adaptive crops that can help feed the population and cause less of an impact on the environment. The end.